What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Josh Talks. Very excited for this week's episode. On the phone with me right now, he's a longtime friend. He's one of the fastest rising and most loved stars on Impact Wrestling that you could watch tonight and every Tuesday on Access TV. He is the X-Division Champion. My guest is Willie Mack. What is up, sir?
Well, not much. Chilling indoors, yelling at my cats.
Well, what's your cat do now?
Right now, he licking his business and looked up at me like I disturbed him or something. You're at my house, fool. What you think this is?
Well, he might be trying to lick his business, but you've certainly been taking care of business on Impact. Obviously, recently, you just achieved what you might consider, let me know, as far as the pinnacle of your career in winning that X-Division Championship. I'm sure you've had this question asked a few times, but let me know, what does that moment really mean to you in your career?
It means I done something right, because you look at all the people that's had the X-Division title: AJ, Low-Key, Christopher Daniels, Jerry Lynn, RVD, Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, and Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, Bobby Lashley. Everybody goes on, and now I could add my name to that list. It's like a dream. Like me going from watching it on television to getting the call to go there to finally get an opportunity to go after one of their championships is crazy to me.
Yeah, what inspired you when you were young? Obviously, you, just like me, were fans watching at home. But obviously, there was always like maybe a certain moment, maybe gone to a certain show or saw a certain wrestler that just then made you think, you know what, I think I can do something in this business. For me, it was going to my first live show and Bret Hart threw his shades on my head, and from there I was sold. What was it for you that was like, you know what, I want to do this in my passion in my life?
Well, like I said plenty of times before, when I was 4 years old, stumbled upon the TV, saw Hulk Hogan with the red and yellow, big old gold belt, talking about who he was going to beat up that night or at the pay-per-view, and that hooked me right then and there, and that's told me what I wanted to do, because I saw it looked like they was having fun, and thousands of people in the arena and millions at home looked like they was joining them in the fun, and I was like, I want to do that, not just to make myself happy, but like other people happy, because you don't know what somebody's going through. Like what we got in the world right now, somebody could be broke, homeless, down on their luck. But if you turn on the TV and watch some wrestling and see me on there, I'm going to make sure I do everything in my power to make you happy. I ain't really caring about myself. It's about the people. I want to make them happy.
Definitely. And I can tell you from when I've watched you from your start to now, I cannot think of a time where the fans were not on your side and cheering for you and being entertained by you. I'm kind of curious. So, obviously these last several weeks around the world have been a little interesting, to say the least. But so, you won the X-Division Championship, and normally you got the crowd behind you. But in this situation, obviously the fans were not physically in attendance. Of course, they were watching and cheering from home. So how do the fans still motivate you, even in a circumstance like that, where they might not physically be there for you to hear the cheers?
Well, you always got to keep it in the back of your head. Even when we're doing wrestling and live in front of live people, it's for the TV people at home, pretty much. Mm-hmm. So I'm out there going there through my same emotions, even though there's zero people in the crowd. Actually, I take that back. It's camera crews and the ring announcer and the timekeeper and the commentators. But besides that, I know it's thousands of people watching me at home, and I got to do my thing just like it was normal.
Let's go back to as far as when you were really starting wrestling, because again, you and we first met. I reffed one of your very first matches, I remember, and that's when we first started working together in various independent promotions. And I know we've always shared this story back and forth, but I always love bringing it up. The very first match that I remember with you, you threw your opponent in the air so high. That is the only time that I remember that I stood there as a referee and just looked up. And it's like, he's going to crash down. And it's just like, this is a unique talent for sure. that is just starting in wrestling. When was it during your career, as far as when your start with it, that you realize, you know what, I do stand out a little more than the other wrestlers that you'll see on the independent scene. I am, quote unquote, something special. When did you realize that?
I didn't realize nothing really. I just see myself as a regular ass dude just doing wrestling. I do the same thing everybody else do. It's just, I don't know, people gravitate towards me. It's weird. I guess since they saw me coming up, like the same people who's in the crowd, I used to be in lines with at all the shows around California. Like they'll see me in line waiting to get into a show. And then I guess they get a connection from that with me being in the ring. They'd be like, damn, he was one of us. He was waiting out in the hot sun to get into this building to watch a 3 or 4 hour wrestling show. I guess that's my connection.
Okay, no.
But besides that, regular.
Yeah, you're one of us that is succeeding now, and now you're a champion. What was the first real lesson that you learned while training and doing wrestling? Like the first lesson that you learned that you wouldn't necessarily learned from being in the crowd or watching on TV? And I don't mean just like a lockup type thing, just like as far as sound advice.
Oh, sound advice for somebody else?
Yeah, as far as while you were training and learning, like the first lesson that someone, maybe they watched you and like, hey, make sure going forward, do something like this or don't do something like that.
Well, the only thing, I've kind of mentioned it earlier, just like somebody told me, no matter how many people in the crowd, whether it's 5, 2, 3,000 or 1,000,000 people, wrestle like, give them 110% every single time. Don't half-ass it pretty much. And I've kept that with me, and I guess it's working.
Yes, Willie, it is working. It is working very much. And you were talking as far as, with the lineage of the X-Division Championships, you're naming off all different greats that have held that championship. There's been, all different styles of wrestling, and really the X-Division kind of catapulted what I pretty much just kind of consider a hybrid, because you got the high flyers, you got the strong style, you got the technical wrestlers, you got the heavyweights. But then there's these hybrids like you, or like Samoa Joe, or like Lashley, like you were mentioning how, your guys is like, all right, they move as fast as the high flyers, they jump as high as the high flyers, but they're just as strong, if not stronger than the heavyweights at the same time. Like you don't even know where you would almost classify yourself in. And we're starting to see in all wrestling promotions a few more of these quote unquote hybrids showing up. What do you think the key is for like the hybrid on how they can now stand out like you are as the X-Division champion?
I'm not even sure. I don't even know how I do it. Just go out there and keep doing what you're doing, and somebody gonna take notice real quick. Because it's like pretty much the open weight division. Like back in the day, you see, heavyweights wouldn't move like this. Mm-hmm. Cruiserweights only do that. And now it's like you got guys coming in had the same mindset like me. Like people think I'm gonna be slow, tanky, and moving around the ring like I'm Andre the Giant or something. Like, hell no, I'm gonna be in there and move and make people remember me. Like when they go home, be like, damn, that third match was good. That guy Willie Mack was good. And then that's my job right there, just to like leave that impression on them. Because the first time you saw me, I bet you thought I wasn't gonna do a damn thing.
I had no idea what to expect. And then I see you throw a guy pretty much to the ceiling and like fly off the top rope, just like the high flyer would. I was just like, what? Who is this guy? I need to see more of him.
Yeah.
And we're talking about different styles. I know someone who had a completely different style out here in Southern California, where you brought up and you wrestled along the independents. Just recently, very recently, passed away by the name of Supreme. I know he meant a lot to you. I remember at a charity show years ago that I did commentary, and the main event was you versus him in his, death match, just crazy style, which again, a style I've never seen you do. What did Supreme mean to you as far as getting to wrestle with him and how he just kind of inspired you growing up watching XPW out here on the West Coast?
Well, he was a good dude. Even when I was a fan, I was a young kid, like 11 or 12, going to the Grand Olympic in the LA Sports Arena. And I always liked that style of matches. People wouldn't think it, but hell yeah, I'm down with it. And being in there with him after watching him for so long, it felt great. I was kind of nervous because that was like my first time doing anything like it. And he gave me his body, I gave him mine, and we did the benefit show for the Homie Sumo back February 14th, 2014, exactly. And it meant a great deal because I heard Sumo like both of us. And the funny thing I found out about Supreme, he would always tell people, like, if they never seen him before, oh, watch this dude, he's pretty good, he's going to blow your damn mind. This dude got a big future. And now that he's gone, it sucks because I want to have another match with him. And he had a lot of fans, family that's just here that he inspired and was pushing forward for in Southern California wrestling. He's a legend out here. Mm-hmm. And it just sucks that he's gone. And I hope he knows that a lot of people is going to miss him. And yeah, we're going to do the best to try to keep him in our memory because that's all we got now. Hell, we got DVDs and VHSs and the internet, so I'm pretty sure his stuff's going to continue through that. If people didn't know who he was, they're going to know who he is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make that my goal to make sure people know who the hell he is or was.
Yeah, I don't know if the young fans will know exactly the VHS that you spoke of, but yes, they definitely need to go back and check out because it was definitely a unique style, and obviously he will certainly be missed. I actually found it really interesting that you remember not just a year, but the exact date that you had that match. Are there any other specific matches that you remember? Oh yeah, it was on this date because it meant that much to you.
A couple of them. I remember when I won the championship wrestling from Hollywood TV title from Scorpio Sky. It was a couple weeks after my dad died. Mm-hmm. Like, I think the next TV tape because he died September 20th, 2012. And after that, I ended up getting into a feud with Sky, and I ended up winning the title. And yeah, it meant a lot to me.
No, I remember. I was there. I was backstage for that one. I haven't been at many championship wrestling from Hollywood events, but I was backstage for that one, and I remember you pretty much a little bit in tears when you walked into the back, and I got a big old sweaty hug from you because it was you and Sky just tore the house down.
Yeah, and it was a ladder match too.
Yep.
That's the thing. I think I retained. I don't know if I won it then. Because I think I beat him for it before. Because I remember I did.
I felt like you guys went back and forth with the title.
In the bed. I was like, Pops, look what I won. And he was half sleepy, like, oh, that's nice, son. Show it to me in the morning. I'm proud of you. And then a little while later, he passed away. And that match meant a lot to me. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Switching gears back to the present, because we got the present and really the future in fantastic wrestlers in the X Division and Impact Wrestling. How competitive is the X Division from the standpoint of one of the competitors and obviously the champion? We know how talented a lot of these guys are, but from a performer and wrestler standpoint, I mean, have you ever dealt with a more competitive division than you got in Impact?
Oh, because it's like the Impact roster, even the X Division dudes have the power to main event a show. And that's crazy. To think about it, like, they can main event anywhere around the world. And, like, to have that group that small group, it shows you something that they doing something right at Impact. And the X Division is where you bring your A game at, because you know that moves you on to like the heavyweight division or tag team division. It's like a starting point, and it could be your main point. You could just stick around and be in the X Division because that's one of the best groups to be in.
Oh, sure. With all due respect to the other divisions, because obviously they're all fantastic as far as tag division with the North and Tessa and Michael Elgin and Moose and all of them. But Impact over the years really has been known for the X Division because of the no limits, as they would say, and just with the unique match styles. If you were to pick, if you were to pick somebody right now, and I know the typical answer, the cookie cutter answer for this is say anyone that wants a shot. You're not allowed to answer this that way. If you got to defend your X Division title against anyone on the roster, you got to choose. Who would it be?
Anybody? Well, I guess I'll say it's obviously two people. One could be Rohit from the Desert Hit Squad, and the other one could be, because I'm tired of him. I wrestled him twice, and he chopped me, and every time I was about to chop him, I got hit in the back by somebody else.
Okay. Or
hit in the head with a chair in Mexico, and I never got to chop him, is Eddie Edwards.
Ooh. That, I would be very intrigued by that match.
Yeah, because we had two matches with multiple people, and he chopped me, and I'm about to give him one back. Somebody hit me in the back, and another person hit me in the head with a chair in Mexico, and I was like, "Oh, you bastard! You are lucky."
Well, you owe him a receipt. Then you got to set this up. I'm sure you can talk to management to make that match. All right. Well, Willie, I know you got a business because now you're the champ, so you got a lot of people that you're chatting with. So we'll get ready to wrap this up. But I got one more question. You just simply finish this sentence that I'm going to give you. When your Impact Wrestling career is all said and done, Willie Mack will be known as a good in-ring performer and an all-around good person outside the ring. I guess that's all I'm saying. Hey, you know what? I absolutely love that answer, Willie. And it's because, part of the reason is because I do personally know you for all these years. Because you know how many people would answer that question and say, we'll be known as the best of all time. Because you're so humble. They're like, I'm gonna do the best I can. Be a good wrestler. Hopefully, I'm good outside of it. It just shows how good of a human being you are, on top of obviously being an amazing wrestler. This is why anytime I see you, I tell you I'm proud of you. You know, all the boys in Southern California where you started are proud of you. The fans that you stood in line with to go to shows with, they're proud of you. And you're just continuing to impress, and now putting a new spotlight on you for all these other people who might have not ever gotten a chance to see Willie Mack in the Indies. They're getting to see you on Impact Wrestling tonight and every Tuesday night on Access TV. You could always also watch on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast. So many avenues to watch it. Impact Wrestling is on fire right now. Willie, you're on fire because you're the damn X-Division champion. Is there anything that you want to separate, besides Impact, of course, anything that you want to plug or promote or anything before we wrap this up?
Oh, hell yeah. Just go to follow me on Instagram and Twitter as Willie_Mack. Like my fan page on Facebook. It's official Willie Mack. Go buy some of my t-shirts because I got pets to feed. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees, Willie Mack. And just stay safe in this craziness because we all got one life to live and there's plenty of things to do in life. Just keep safe.
There you go. You heard the man. Support him. Support Impact Wrestling. Help him prevent his cat from constantly dealing with the cat's own business, like I said at the beginning of this interview, so he can buy some damn food for his cat. And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Tariff. Please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. See more and more great interviews like this every week. Willie, my man, you know I'm proud of you. And do me a favor, hold on to that title for a long period of time, all right?
I'm going to try, but my bag going to be heavy going through TSA all the time.
That's all right. You can lift a few more weights. It's fine. Just get even stronger and lift and carry that title around.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. Thanks, Will. It is X-Division Champion Willie Mack. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We will see you next week.